Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
Right now, Lithia Ford of Boise is buying used vehicles. How much you want for the SUV?
I don't know.
Well, Lithia Ford will give you more than that.
How much more?
More than you think.
I'm not thinking anything.
I'm thinking you might get even more than that. See how much more you can get at Lithia Ford of Boise.
When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. RowPaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news. Joining BJ Rains today is KTIK 95.3 FM The Ticket's Mike Prater. Listen to Idaho Sports Talk with Prater in the Ballgame, weekdays from 3 to 6 on 95.3 FM The Ticket and online at KTIK.com. Today's broadcast is coming from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Now, here's Mike Prater and BJ Rains with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Hey, how we doing? Happy Thursday, Boise State fans. Welcome on in. Today's not Thursday. It's Wednesday, Mike Prater. I did it again. I saw Mike Prater's beautiful face sitting there, and I said Thursday instead of Wednesday. I wish it were Thursday already, and so do you, because you'd be starting a vacation. But we are it's Wednesday. Mike Prater is here. He's filling in again. We got the days kind of mixed around this week, leading in immediate days. Again, congratulations to Jay Tust and his wife, Camille. Brooks J. Christopher Tust, born over the weekend, so he's taking a few days off, well-deserved, and so Prater and Johnny are filling in extra this week. We appreciate that, and so today is a Wednesday edition, a rare Wednesday appearance, a rare back-to-back days. I wasn't sure why the viewership was a little lower to start the show, but I guess I saw Mike Prater. They're stuck with him again for back-to-back days and realized that they had had enough, but no, we're appreciate you, Mike, 2 days in a row jumping on here, and should be fun.
You know, I was curious about Jay. I was going to ask this question yesterday. He named his son Brooks, right? Brooks, yeah. Who's the most jacked player on the PGA Golf Tour. Well, I guess he's on the Live Tour these days, but I didn't know Jay was that much of a golfer, so he named it after the ripped muscle guy that plays golf, huh?
I was hoping it was like Brooks Robinson or something, or maybe there's some other famous Brooks, I guess. But yeah,
probably true.
I would say Brooks Koepka and Jay Tust have similar builds, maybe.
Yes, definitely.
They're weight room partners, I think. But no, we're excited here on a Wednesday. This will be our last time talking to Mike Prater before we arrive down in Las Vegas for Mountain West Media Days. We are very excited. We've been talking about this for a couple days now, but both KTIK and 95.3 The Ticket will be down there in Las Vegas next week. Live shows. Idaho Sports Talk will be live on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We'll be doing daily BNN shows as well. We're going to be doing some video interviews on both our channels. Some of your interviews will be filmed using our channels as well, or our cameras and stuff. So going to be a nice collaboration here. I know we've done some stuff in the past, Mike, but I think this year with you guys, taking the show on the road down there as well, I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Let's bump up this partnership and get after it. It's a big season. It's an important season, and we're all starting to kind of feel the excitement a little bit. So I always appreciate what you do, and not only joining us on Fridays on Idaho Sports Talk, but everything else we do in the golf tournament and now this Media Days deal. And we're going to go down there and kick some butt on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'm still a little bummed that the worst planned vacation day of all time on Tuesday, when Bob and Johnny and you are going to be at the pool at Circa. I'm going to be out there doing whatever the hell I'm doing, and then I'll join you guys live on Wednesday morning. So I'm looking forward to it, but be careful at the pool and have a little bit of fun with that one.
I'm just hoping my appearance on the Tuesday edition of Idaho Sports Talk is earlier in the show so I can start partaking in the beverages a little bit sooner. So if I can be in the opening segment at 2 o'clock Pacific time and be done, that would be great. But we'll see when the cameras are rolling there and what's happening there down at in the cabana, the 95.3, the Ticket Cabana down there at Circa. I am, Mike, just for your sake, I'm trying to schedule a little I don't know if happy hour is the right word, but I'm trying to schedule a little event for the Boise media that Circa's wanting to kind of welcome us down there, and I'm going to try to do that for Wednesday night to make sure that that you were there. So
I appreciate that. I appreciate that an awful lot. Let's celebrate on Wednesday.
We're not going to hold you out of everything. Wednesday could be a fun day. Looking forward to media days, and again, the Big 12 starts today. Some other conferences are getting going, so it makes some sense. And Mike, this is the first year, and again, we're going to talk about DJ Schramm coming up. He is our number 3 most important player to the Boise State football team in 2023. We'll talk about him in a minute, but I wanted to stay with media days for a minute, Mike. This is the first year with the no divisions, so it's going to be ranking the teams 1 through 12 in the standings. In the preseason poll. 15 years in a row, Boise State has been picked to either win their division, or when they were back in the WAC, they had the same thing, no divisions, just kind of the 1, through whatever. 15 years in a row, Boise State has been picked first in the conference or division or whatever rankings they did. I think we believe that'll be 16, right, coming up next week. Who are the biggest challengers to knock off Boise State this year, you think, when that poll comes out?
Well, first of all, every time I hear that stat, I just shake my head. It just blows me away. And yeah, it'll be 16. There's no doubt about that. As a matter of fact, I think it'll be dominant. Somewhere between 45 and maybe 55 people will vote in this thing. I think Boise State will get 35 to 40 first place votes. I really, truly do. I was just thinking, just as you were talking there, the better question is, let's go back to the olden days and let's put 2 divisions in the Mountain West football standings. Okay, I got Boise State on the mountain side. I think Air Force is going to be number 2 in next week's poll. So let's put them number 2 in the mountain division behind Boise State under the old way. BJ, the hardest thing that you'll have to do, the hardest thing I'll have to do, the hardest thing that's about ball game and Bob will have to do over the next couple of days is figure out who would win the West, the Pacific, or whatever the hell that division used to be.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, I think San Diego State's down. I think Fresno State's down. I'm not going to pick San Jose State, Nevada, UNLV. I'm not sure. Hawaii, who am I missing? Terrible division this year. I think it's going to be Boise State and Air Force to boot and nobody else at all.
Which that would make it back-to-back weeks because Boise State hosts Air Force, I believe, in the final regular season game of the season.
Exactly. And I think that was done on purpose. I think the conference, if we know that, the conference knows that. And I know it's just on paper and anything can happen on paper, but I truly believe the conference put those 2 teams together on Black Friday because they knew on paper that was going to be the matchup. And I think that's what the media poll next week is going to indicate. And I think that's what the regular season is going to prove out to be as well.
And I think that would be a win for Mountain West in year 1 if 2 teams from the same division meet in the championship, because it shows that because not every year, but there has been a couple years where it would have happened either on the west side or the mountain side where both teams, the top 2 teams were on the same side. And that's kind of the goal. You want your top 2 teams in the whole conference playing for the championship, giving another quality game in the title game for the top team or the second place team. And then obviously put your conference in the best and that top team in the best position to qualify for a New Year's 6 bowl game. And a lot of conferences are starting to go to that and getting away from divisions. And in year 1, if 2 teams from the same division played in the title game, and even to go into the season, if that's what the poll predicts, I think that's right away a win for the new system.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I wouldn't even be surprised if, we talked about, or at least I talked about it with you off the air, the third team is going to be some kind of a surprise team. And I think Colorado State, and excuse me for saying that because I can't stand Colorado State, but I think Colorado State with a quarterback wide receiver combo that might be one of the best in the conference could be the surprise team. You would expect maybe Fresno State or San Diego State to be one of the surprise teams that could come out and make a difference. But I think the 3 best teams in this conference this year are Mountain Division teams, and we'll see how that plays out.
Well, speaking of Colorado State, if you're planning to go to that Colorado State game, by the way, in October, we'll be doing an event with Circa Resort and Casino. They've now got Circa Sports. They have legalized gambling in the state of Colorado, Mike Prater, and Circa. Nice. That is the 3rd state that Circa Sports has taken there. Everyone kind of talks about Caesars odds and MGM Grand and all these, but Circa has, in addition to this hotel, designed a sports book and now a sports betting, wing that they hope to kind of take over as the main sports betting, app and spot in the country. And they're now into 3 states with Circa Sports. Colorado is one of them. And so you can do the app and you can bet in Colorado. So while we were there the night before or even maybe that early, depending on the game time, earlier in the day on Saturday, Circa is going to basically rent out a bar in Fort Collins, and BNN and Circa are going to hang out and try to sign people up for the app. And then you can bet on the game that night, I guess, if you want to. So if you're coming in town for the Colorado State game, just keep that on your radar. More details to come, but we'll be having an event with like free food and drink there in Fort Collins to sign people up with the Circa Sports app as part of our sponsorship with Circa Resort and Casino. So, Mike, as I said, it's your last chance for us to talk to you before media days. I know San Diego State, that's going to be the story that unfortunately is just going to dominate media day. Maybe unfortunately, maybe fortunately. I mean, it's going to give us an obvious kind of storyline. What are you going down to Las Vegas next week? Because again, exactly 1 week from right now, you and I will actually be on this show sitting in the ballroom or Radio Row at Circa Resort in Casino on the third floor there. So I think, like literally 1 week from this moment, we'll be doing this in Vegas, and we will have just heard from Gloria Nevarez. She will have just finished talking, and we'll have a lot of juicy stuff to talk about. What are you, getting on that plane next, week going down to Vegas in your mind? What do you think you want to hear? What questions do you have? What do you think gets accomplished? What are just your general thoughts on what you're going to see down there at media days?
Yeah, I mean, we would all love to hear the breaking news. The Pac-12 does this, San Diego State does that, the Mountain West reacts this way. I mean, it's a three-part process, but it's not going to happen. Let's be real. And at this point, I don't think I want it to happen. I mean, we've been looking for this Pac-12 San Diego State story for 6 months and waiting for something to happen. I don't think I want it now, and I don't think the Pac-12 should do anything about it now. It would kind of steal their thunder. Their media day is in Vegas next Friday, right after Boise State. Right after the Mountain West gets done on Wednesday and Thursday. So there's 3 days of chaos and 3 days of questions. I know there's going to be some crossover media, and everybody's going to be asking tons of questions. Gloria Nevarez will have to stand up and say something, but I don't think she can say anything of substance. I don't think anything's going to happen. And frankly, over the last 24 to 36 hours, as I've been thinking about this, I'm okay with that. I want to go into this media day. It sounds kind of boring and cheesy and routine and practical. I just want to learn about these other football teams. I want to look at the coaches in the eyes and who's your stars? Where's your weakness? What's it going to be like when you play Boise State? Those are all the questions, and just learn about this conference. So there's a lot of unknowns about this conference, a lot of turnover in the offseason about this conference, and I'm kind of tired of the Pac-12 San Diego State thing. If it happens, let's jump on it and react, but I don't think it will. Let's go to Vegas and learn more about the football teams in this conference.
Yeah, and that is kind of the main goal, to get the head coach and 2 players from every team there. The format, they've been mixing with the format in previous years. They did the players and coaches from the Mountain Division, 1 year, then the West Division the other. Then the last, I think, 2 years, a change that I've liked is they've split it up to have the players all in one day, the coaches all in one day, because a lot of the media members, I guess, wouldn't come or stay for the other division if their team wasn't involved. Me, I made sure that second day in Vegas, so there was a lot of content we could still get talking to UNLV and Hawaii and some of those teams. We had to stay for that. But I do think it's made the media days a little more attended. From a local standpoint, you get content on both days. We'll get interviews with the players one day, with Coach Avalos the other day. So it will be the players on the first day. DJ Schramm, Riley Smith, who have both kind of become the official captains. They'll be captains at some point, I guess, of this team. They were the captains of the softball game. I would assume both of them are going to probably have the banners. I don't remember if Riley Smith already had one this past year out in front of the stadium, but I think it's fairly obvious that the spokesmen for the teams are going to be Riley Smith and DJ Schramm. So they will both be down there, and be looking forward to catch up with them. On Wednesday, I think Wednesday is also the day Gloria Nevarez will make her rounds with the media. And then Thursday will be the coaches. Andy Avalos on Thursday. I think Jeremiah Dickey, I know we've both just had him on our channels recently, but he'll be down there available for interviews again on Thursday. And then the other coaches as well. Is there one other coach in the Mountain West you're most looking forward to talking to?
Oh, certainly Fresno State, San Diego State, Colorado State, because I think that those teams are on the cusp, and I want to find out if they really can be good. At Fresno State, they do a great job of developing players. San Diego State comes up with a great defense. Why can't San Diego State ever come up with a quarterback? Norvell at Colorado State, will it click? Will it click this year? There seems like there's some talent there. So I'm looking forward to all that. I'm not a big Craig Bull fan, and so I find some kind of perverted joy out of watching him stand up there behind a podium and make a fool of himself, because everything he says I don't think is ever going to come true. So I'm a little bit jaded about Bull, and and entertain myself when he gets behind a podium. So I'm looking forward to that. And just, Avalos and Schramm and Riley Smith and how they come down there. And every single year there's the evolution of Andy Avalos as a head coach. And that first year, I thought he came in with this brotherhood and culture and love and kumbaya kind of attitude. And that's okay, because he needed to install his culture. The second year, I thought it was more business-like. I felt a more business-like vibe. And it all kind of starts with media days. You kind of pick up the vibe and how he conducts himself. He shows up with a certain purpose. This year, will Andy Avalos be, more kumbaya guy? Will he be more business guy? Will he take his career into another evolution? So I kind of like the evolution of Andy Avalos and what he does with his career as well.
And when you guys had Phil Steele on, didn't he mention something about the culture and the guys that he wants? And he really feels like Phil Steele's pretty high on Boise State, in part because Andy Avalos really told him during their conversation, I believe, that he's got more of his guys in there, and they've weeded out the non, brotherhood type guys. And he feels like going into year 3 here, from a buy-in from the players' standpoint, it's as high as it's been.
It seems like that. It really does seem like that. And right now, come on, let's be honest. It could be somewhat superficial. And, we see the guys having a great time in the summer, doing NIL appearances with the media, doing other summer events, doing softball games, and everybody's happy and kumbaya. We've had a lot of the guys in our studio signing autographs on our wall and hanging out. Saw Tyson Degenhardt at the Boise Hawks game there. Everything is really, really good with Boise State sports this time of year. And let's see how serious it gets. I think Andy Avalos, I'm going to come away. I'm going to go into Mountain West Media Days in Vegas thinking and predicting and saying that Boise State has no business of losing to anybody during the Mountain West. Can Andy Avalos go 8-0 for a second consecutive year in the Mountain West? I'd be disappointed if he can't. Now, that non-conference may ruin the regular season for Boise State and its fans, but I think Andy Avalos is going to dominate the Mountain West. It's going to be down this year, and that home game against Air Force to end the season, that'll kind of wrap up what I think will be an 8-0 season.
Well, again, looking forward to it next week. KTIK, Bronco Nation News. We will both be live Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, full coverage all day. You're not going to get this kind of coverage anywhere else. You're not just going to hear Andy Avalos on KTIK. You're going to see video of it on the social media channels as well. The digital partnership that we have and some of the things we have planned are going to be awesome. So no other place you need to go. Just listen to KTIK, check out their social media channels, read BroncoNationNews.com, check out our channels, and it's going to be a 3-day collaboration like you've never seen before at one of the sports palaces of the world, Circa Resort and Casino, coming up again Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week. Mike, I want to talk DJ Schramm, but I want to thank a couple of our sponsors, the Blue and Orange Store. Check them out, theblueandorangestore.com. Free shipping, any order over $40, or if you're in the Boise area, just go to the Boise Town Square Mall there on the second floor, an entire store dedicated to nothing but Boise State gear. It's pretty remarkable when you walk in. Selection of hats, jerseys, coaches' sideline apparel. They've got it all. Check them out at the Blue and Orange Store. If you need a dentist, how about Boise Dentistry Co.? Dr. Miner and his staff do a tremendous job. Full family dentistry. Make sure you check them out, BoiseDentistryCo.com. They make it an enjoyable experience for the whole family to go to the dentist, and you can find a location near you, BoiseDentistryCo.com. United Commercial Insurance. They make business insurance easy. They can write business policy insurance in 44 states around the country. Make sure you check them out, UnitedCommercialInsurance.com. Quick call can save you hundreds of dollars on your business insurance. And again, that's UnitedCommercialInsurance.com. And of course, we're broadcasting from the Cutwater Spirits mobile studios here in Meridian. More than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails. We appreciate Cutwater Spirits. Perfect for your weekend barbecue or tailgate. Check them out, Cutwater Spirits. We appreciate them for their sponsorship of Bronco Nation News. Okay, Mike, so DJ Schramm comes in at number 3. We have Ashton Genty, Talon Green still to come. Are you okay with Ashton Genty and Talon Green being 1 and 2?
Yes. I think we're a consensus there. I do. I think after that, we talked about Beresford, we talked about Holani, and we talked about all the other stuff. But I think it has to be Talon Green 1 and Ashton Genty 2. And I think it has to be in that order. I'm not even sure the rest of it's debatable. Is it, BJ?
No, and I forget on your list. I know you had Dimitri Washington up there, but did you have DJ Schramm number 3? I think you might have had him 4.
I either had him 3 or 4. I can't remember, but I definitely had him in my top 5. I had Dimitri in there as well, and I had I can't remember the 5th guy I had in there, but DJ Schramm was either 3rd or 4th for me in terms of the most important football players on this team.
Yeah, you might have had somebody in the secondary, maybe, I forget, at corner.
Oh, yeah, I cheated and picked the cornerback position, one of the 3 guys, so I didn't really come up with a name, but one of those 3 guys has to kind of emerge out of cornerback. That was my fifth one. Yes.
Okay, DJ Schramm, and if you remember, I mean, it's just his kind of rise here has been pretty remarkable this late in his career, Mike Prater. And you've obviously covered Boise State football for a long time. Maybe a Grant Hedrick kind of in his last year doing this, but I mean, you think about what DJ Schramm did. I mean, this guy barely played up until last season, and if you remember right, now he's not even on the team. But a fellow by the name of Isaiah Banya, who had been playing on the edge, they moved him in the summer, and that was the big thing at media days where we saw the depth chart, and Isaiah Banya was getting moved to linebacker. That was supposed to be because they didn't have anybody good enough to play alongside Zeke Noah, and Isaiah Banya got moved to linebacker, and they were, but by the time fall camp had, been over, no, DJ Schramm had beaten out Isaiah Banya, and they moved Isaiah Banya like halfway through fall camp back to the edge position for the most part because DJ Schramm, had come out of nowhere and took that starting spot. And so he had played some in previous years. I think he had like 24 tackles the year before in 2021. But in terms of like significant playing time, I don't think anybody went into last season or at least into fall camp last year thinking DJ Schramm was going to lead the team in tackles, Mike Prater. And, for a guy that came on, as I said, a fourth, fifth year guy, had kind of waited his time. And, Riley Wimpy moves on, some guys move on, and DJ Schramm all of a sudden stepped up and ran with it. And, battled some injuries and talking to his dad and stuff later in the season. He wouldn't have known it, but I mean, that guy was walking around with multiple issues and kind of battled through and pushed through and ended up 107 tackles to lead the team last year, 11 and a half tackles for loss, forced a fumble, but I mean, 53 solo tackles was by far and away the most on the team. I don't know what you were expecting going into the season from DJ Schramm, but he had a heck of a year last year, and he decided to come back for that sixth year, which I think was on the fence for a while, wasn't sure, was going to need some surgeries and whether or not kind of the long rehab process was worth it to gear it up for another year. But he came back, and I think that, who would have thought it a year ago this time, but he's the most important player on the defense, in my opinion.
The funniest thing you can do today, if you want to entertain yourself, go and you want to check out the evolution of DJ Schramm, go to broncosports.com, hit the football tab, hit the team tab, go to the roster and click on DJ Schramm. And underneath it, there's a historical tab as well. And it shows you all 6 of his mugshots from Boise State going back to 2018. He looks like a 12-year-old in 2018. And in 2023, he looks like a grown-ass man who's just going to go out there and beat on people. It's funny in terms of the mugshot. Just a really clean look in 2018. And now we have this big, giant, hairy beast who I think is a wonderful football player. And I'll go back to last year. Oh, Prater, sometimes you just get yourself in such stupid trouble with your mouth. But I believe I said last year that DJ Schramm was going to be a detriment to this football team, and the linebacker position was going to be a weakness. He was an unproven. He was an unknown. You just read all the stats, and there was a lot of turnover at that position and not a lot of development coming back. And I said, Boise State's in trouble. The linebacker position is not going to be good this year. And all of a sudden, here comes DJ Schramm with an amazing season. Again, you pointed out all the stats. I love what he's done. I think he can be even better this year. He looks like he's in better shape. He looks like he's more chiseled. He looks like a serious football player right now. He always has looked like a serious football player, but he's just kind of fine-tuned his body, fine-tuned his edge, and I think he's going to be really good. If I want DJ Schramm to be better in one area, and you did talk about his stats, he's never really had he's never had an interception. He hasn't created a lot of plays. I mean, the TFLs are beautiful. That's a lot of numbers, especially last year. He's had 14 and a half TFLs in his career, 11 and a half last year. More of the same there. Maybe an interception, a pass deflection, a fumble recovery, some kind of a play coming out of the middle, maybe a couple more sacks. He doesn't get really sacks. So I think he's athletic enough to make plays all over the field, not just his basic assignments. I see an explosion coming out of DJ Schramm this season.
Now, I was able to find it here, Mike. I'm putting it full screen. There's the 4 pictures going from far left where he's the clean-shaven.
Yeah.
You can see the evolution. They look like they used the same picture 2 years in a row there in the middle. There was the redshirt junior pick. And I think if you updated it again this year, he would look even more grizzly than he does in that one from 2 years ago.
I think so. I mean, based on the last time I saw him, he looked, and maybe it was just the summer grizzle. He'll probably show up in Vegas. You know, him and Riley are pretty boys. They'll show up in Vegas all slicked up, haircuts, looking good, wearing the school colors. They'll be completely fine-tuned next week, which is way different than when we saw him last time at a softball field or a golf course.
Yeah, that's that is interesting. And I know a lot of the talk is who's going to be next to DJ Schramm, because that's part of why I have DJ Schramm being so important to this team. I mean, you look at the production, but I look at the leadership too, Mike Prater, and you talk about losing J.L. Skinner, losing Tyreek Jones, losing Caleb Biggers, losing Scott Matlock. I mean, they lost a lot of leaders from this team, and DJ Schramm kind of comes back as we said, a team captain. I think the unquestioned leader of that defense, along with Dimitri Washington. And those two guys are going to kind of be the sixth year, grandpas of the defense this year. But for me, that was part of why I have him so high as well, because I think he's very important on the field, and staying healthy is going to be imperative for DJ Schramm in this defense, but also just what he brings from a leadership standpoint, because you lost a lot of leadership in that locker room last year.
BJ, if I ask you who's going to be the second linebacker on this team when Boise State lines up against Washington, I don't think you could come up with an answer. You know this team better than anybody. I know this team very, very well. I couldn't tell you. I mean, Schramm's going to line up on the weak side. Well, we're looking
Simpson, maybe?
Maybe. I kind of got him penciled in as a backup behind DJ right now, but maybe. I mean, certainly he's on the list. There's a couple of other guys on the list. I think that's one of the biggest questions going into not only next week, but certainly fall camp. Boise State's going to need that second linebacker. DJ Schramm can't do it all by himself, even though he looks and acts like Superman sometimes. That's a very important position for fall camp, if you ask me.
And I guess, this is kind of the similar spot we were in with Zeke Noah last year. Who's going to be next to Zeke Noah? And DJ Schramm came out of nowhere and had a huge year. So I guess if you're a Boise State fan, you're hoping that the same thing happens again with somebody else.
Misa, the young kid that came in with a lot of hype that I think he got some special teams play last year. There was that Rip kid, Simpson kid, Notarani's another name that they threw out a little bit in spring ball. So there's a lot of work to be done at the linebacker position.
Hey, again, the Boise State is going to Canada for the basketball team. We're going to be down there going to Canada with the team. We appreciate Boucher Real Estate, #1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley. Matt Boucher and his team, check them out, BoucherRealEstate.com. No home is too big or too small for Matt Boucher and his team, and we are headed to Canada, and we appreciate what Matt Boucher is doing. Brian King, RBC Wealth Management as well. Check them out, 389-6812, former basketball player. Mike, that probably doesn't surprise you, but I couldn't even finish giving my pitch over the phone when Brian King's like, sign me up. I'm in.
Nice.
If it's basketball coverage, I'm in. Let's do it. And so I appreciate him. And Atkinson's Mirror and Glass as well. They've been serving the local community here in the Treasure Valley since 1951. AtkinsonsMirrorandGlass.com. You can check them out. We appreciate their support of this trip. AtkinsonsMirrorandGlass.com. You can give them a call, 208-375-3762. They're a proud sponsor of Boise State Athletics and the Horseshoe Collective. So go support the sponsors, folks, that are making this trip possible. And we appreciate Atkinson's Mirror and Glass. And of course, Mike Prater, I'm heading back today. Lean Feast. On Sunday, you can meet Talon Green 12 to 2 at Lean Feast. Talon Green will be there 12 to 2 on Sunday. If you've never been to Lean Feast, it's the perfect time. Bring the family out, have lunch, either just get one meal for lunch, get a couple meals to take with you and try later in the week. And you can have an autograph, a picture with Talon Green. Leanfeast.com/Meridian. They're feeding the basketball team now. They're starting to hopefully feed some other sports teams down there pretty soon. But Talon Green, Ashton Genty, Dimitri Washington, and then Tyson Degenhardt as well have deals with them. So check them out, leanfeast.com/Meridian. What's it going to take to get Mike Prater out to Lean Feast? We got to make it happen, man.
I love that idea. I love that idea, and I need a little summer discipline. The diet's getting a little sloppy right now because summer's a little bit too much fun. Going on vacation for a week. When I come back from vacation and when I come back from Vegas, hook me up, BJ. Let's fine-tune these bodies for football season.
I would say maybe we do something similar to Talon Green, where you and I go behind the counter and make some meals up or something. But I'm not sure that that would help their attendance that day if we were the ones there serving up the meals. But
you're probably 100% accurate with that.
Well,
yes.
I had the shrimp yesterday and the cauliflower rice, the broccoli. I just love it. It's so the best part for me is the easiness of throwing it in the microwave for 2 minutes and you're good to go, and it's healthy food. So thanks to Dave and the Lean Feast staff over there. Go check them out. You will not be disappointed. Mike, appreciate your time today. Any final words? We're as of now, we have 1 minute left before we go over, so this could be a record here. Any final words before we talk to you in Las Vegas?
No, just looking forward to it. I'll get away for a couple of days, last little trip before football season. Then we'll see you in Vegas. You're going to be on the show on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Lots of BJ Rains. I know you'll be on as well this Friday. So 4 of the next 5 shows. Looking forward to that conversation and contribution, BJ. And just thanks again. And appreciate everything that BNN has done and our partnership with Idaho Sports Talk and KTIK. So we'll see you next Wednesday morning in Vegas. And I cannot wait for that day. It's going to be a good one, BJ.
Yeah, I'm excited for you to hear about some of our special announcements we have planned. Next week's going to be the biggest week probably in the history of Bronco Nation News, to be quite honest with you, aside from just starting the company. So Bronco Nation updates on the way out saying DJ Schramm could put himself in position for the 2024 draft if he replicates his performance from this past year. The beard gave him a big advantage, Adam says, and Dennis finishes it up. BNN, the best way to start your day. Thank you, BJ and Mike. Go Broncos. Have a great day. And Kyle Matthews chiming in Vegas. So looking forward to it. Should be fun. But we'll have Johnny, I think, tomorrow and Friday, hopefully to finish up this week. And then we'll talk about number 2, number 1. And then we'll get to Vegas next week. Monday is our first big announcement. So make sure you're tuning in Monday at 9 a.m. And then we'll all head to Vegas. Bob, Johnny, myself, all in the same plane going to Vegas. What could go wrong? Getting in the stretch limo, heading over to Circa once we land. So going to be a fun couple of days, and excited to spend some time with you guys on the shows and then away from the mic as well, and have some fun down there. So appreciate it, Mike. Thanks to JP for getting us on. Hope everybody has a great day. We'll talk to you later. Bronco Nation News Live here at Bronco